out there. Welcome back to another great episode of Romance in the Wow. I am your host, Reese.
I'm the fabulous Charlie.
And we're here to bring you guys another wonderful book review. We have a twofer for you today. Two for the price of one. From what I understand, though, there's like, what, 2 or 3 books in this series. Yeah. It's kind of like the first one short, and so, so we're here to bring you guys a 2 for the price of 1 today. So what y'all think about that? Exciting, huh? So we are women of a particular age who happen to enjoy a lot of romance, sex, erotic. We don't really care. We'll read just about anything, as we have said before. Yep. And we have gotten some interesting stories sent to us. Some, and the thing of it is, it's like we haven't been able to read all of them, but some of them, just flipping through, it's like, can't wait. Wow. So, but anyway, today we are going to bring you a book by Dani Wyatt. And the name of the book is called Let Orc by Miss Dani Wyatt. So this is book 1, correct, Charlie? Yes. Mm-hmm. And so book 2 is called The Orc Next Door. So I guess the cover is kind of the same, right? Mm-hmm. So anyway, for those of you who don't know what an orc is, I didn't know what an orc was. There you go, I'm behind the times. So, what is an orc, Charlie?
Think of it in a way as a hunky Shrek. I know that's an ogre, but it's kind of like that. You know, they have their tusks. You know, they're big, muscular, very manly.
So it's a little more fantasy.
Oh, definitely fantasy, yeah.
Okay. So, I had no idea what an orc is. Fantasy isn't necessarily my cup of tea.
I love fantasy.
So, yeah, I mean, I can get down with all the sci-fi and stuff like that, but yeah, and not that I'm opposed to it, I just haven't read it. So, this may be one book I want to add to my list, though. So, but anyway, so Live and Let Orc by Dani Wyatt. So, take it away, Charlie.
Okay, so in book 1, like again, I'm going to do 2 books. So in the book 1, what we find out is that orcs used to be on Earth, right? But they were abducted by aliens and taken to another planet where they were clearly like slave labor. They were tortured. A lot of them died. Most of the females either died or became like infertile. So after like hundreds of years, they're finally able to escape and they come back to Earth. Well, of course, what happens when they come back to Earth? Now the humans have taken over. So now you have a human-orc war that has happened.
What? A human-orc war?
Yeah.
What?
So, because, humans think, it's supposed to be just our planet. And the orcs like, no. The orcs just want to live basically in peace starting out. But the humans are like, no, we can't have that. So war breaks out. So what ends up happening over, of course, time is that eventually there's kind of like this forced agreement where it's like, okay, we'll tolerate you, but you better kind of stay with your own. You know, they were talking about building the wall.
Damn.
I know.
Even in books, we have a wall.
Yes,
really?
Yes. I thought that was kind of ironic.
That is kind of... Is Trump an orc? Is that where we're going?
We won't talk about that.
No, because if they're bald... Yeah.
Well, no, these orcs have hair and stuff. I'm just saying.
Okay.
Some of them mostly wear kilts. Hush. And in book 1, think of it kind of more like the orc kind of like almost a kind of medieval time. And then you have like this area with the orcs that's medieval. They wear kilts. And then, okay, this is for the ladies and the children. They have 2 tongues, 2 penises. I'm sorry, just think about that. That made me all flutter. But anyway.
Okay. I'm sorry, guys. That does not make me a flutter. That makes me go,
okay.
How am I supposed to do that?
If you have a dirty mind like I do, you're like a flutter. So anyway.
Can we do it on the wall?
You can do it anywhere you want, honey. So anyway.
Okay, so back up. Okay, so they have this realm that's where it doesn't look like our world, right? Is that what you're
We're
saying?
on Earth.
Okay.
Okay, so think of it as the way I pictured it. And Dani Wyatt, if I'm saying this incorrectly, I apologize. But I look at it as you have the orc starting out in book one. The orcs are kind of like in this one area, which is kind of like more rustic, more rural, medieval type thing. And then you have kind of like the normal city, like normal New York City, where population, businesses, homes, blah blah blah.
Which would make sense.
Yes, but then you also have this other area which has basically been abandoned because the wars have come, so people have had to fled. People, of course, were murdered on both sides, humans and orcs. So then you have like these kind of like little lost worlds. Now, I always kind of think in my mind, if you're a fan of Walking Dead, you know how they come across like towns and cities that there were like nobody there. That's how I kind of envision parts of it. So anyway, okay, so our main female character is named Raven. Now, Raven was kind of raised in a school bus by her kind of hippie type parents who were like all about peace and love and let's just zone through life and whatever. But the problem is when they got older, they were like, no, we hate orcs. We hate everybody. We just want to be our little city with all the humans that are surrounded and protected because orcs suck. Yes.
So did the orcs do something to them?
No.
Okay.
That's the thing. It's just some people just hate to hate,
Yeah, true
for
that.
no apparent reason. Like, okay, now I hate these type of people.
Okay.
People, think about it. Okay, so anyway.
Do you think Dani was trying to say something about our today's political?
Oh no. Yes, I do.
Go ahead.
Okay, so anyway. So Raven, of course, her parents take off because, of course, they want to live in their little perfect world that's orc free and everything. But she still, of course, she doesn't have hate in her heart for anybody. She just wants to survive. So she's not really living in the city. She's going from place to place. Well, how she makes her living is she goes like kind of like these like fairs where like she does like drawings and stuff. She sells her artwork and she travels from like on her bus to these different places. She also goes to kind of like the abandoned towns and stuff, and she steals stuff.
Oh.
Yeah, the places.
Thief.
Well, no, like the place like I said, the abandoned Walking Dead type towns where like no one's there anymore. Because she's got to survive. She's got to eat, She's not, it's not like she's living in luxury. She's on this old, crusty, abandoned bus, so she goes from place to place trying to make it.
Is it by the river?
No, it's not, because she's traveling. So anyway, so what happens is, as she's going to this abandoned place, she meets Mo. Now, I might be pronouncing this wrong. It's spelled M-O-L, so if I'm pronouncing it wrong, I apologize. So the thing about the orcs...
So a mole is an orc.
Mo is an orc.
Okay.
So the thing about them also is when they find their mate and their mate's fertile, there's this green glow that kind of emits from their penis. Anyway,
very mature.
Sorry. Okay, so anyway, so he sees Raven.
So he's gooing everywhere.
No, it's a
with
glow.
The green.
It's a glow. It's not an ooze like Nickelodeon.
Okay.
It's a glow. So he
Okay.
sees her. And, and Raven's kind of spunky because she's having to survive on her own. And then, of course, you have the bad military people. Why is it always bad military people? I don't know. I love the military. But anyway, in this story, they're kind of bad. So anyway, so he kind of rescues her from military people because they want to accuse her of being a thief. I don't know why. But anyway, so he protects her. He takes her back to his home. And romance happens between Raven and Mo.
Okay. Sidebar, guys. Can you imagine? Doesn't matter what sex you're into, right? Coming up and they're just glowing.
But it's only if you're the mate and you're fertile, which means because he wants to get her pregnant.
I don't know if that'd be a selling point for me. I'd be like, what's wrong with your... With your two junks.
Okay, well, she doesn't immediately know until he's naked.
Oh, okay, got it. Okay.
Hello, don't be crude.
Okay, go for it.
But anyway,
keep going.
So Mo and Raven, the rest of the story is basically the build-up of their relationship. I don't want to go release any spoilers yet. He's hot with her. He's so sweet with her and soft, and she kind of needs that because, of course, she's gone through so much. So, and you get introduced to, his family because he lives with his family. He has a mother and a sister. He has a couple brothers, and there's one that you assume is dead. Now, I'm thinking he's going to pop up later. He's been told by the government that he's dead. But, I don't think so.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. But this is an awesome book. And now I'm going to go into the next book in the series, which is The Orc Next Door, Book 1 by Dani Wyatt. What's your problem?
No, I'm still trying to get past the glowy junk. Go ahead. In my head, I'm trying. I'm following.
I'm sorry, ladies and gentlemen.
So
I think it's hot. But anyway, because it's only for the one person, the ultimate mate. He's chosen the love of his life.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so anyway, the next book is about Mo's brother, Tigor. Okay, so Tigor what he's done is he's invested his money in like a house in a subdivision, which is amongst humans. But anyway, so he's there. He has help from like his mother and his sister and his brothers. He has his own like crew because the orcs they've expanded. They're not really in the medieval part now. Now we're trying to intermix with the other humans. They want to have homes. They want to have all the luxuries of life, which was taken from them. And of course the thing is, they want to find their mates. They want to have babies. They want to just have a normal life like anybody else would. So while Tiger's there, he realizes that his mate is living next door because he can smell her scent and he knows she's there. But at first he thinks that she's married with a child. But that's not the case. The case is she's got 2 foster brothers. Because what you find out, her name's Emmy. Poor Emmy. Okay, so she lost her mom's in prison. We don't know about Dad. He's a deadbeat. But the thing is, she's put into foster care. Now, when she was in foster care, of course, it was a shady guy. She was severely abused. There was a foster brother, and her and the foster brother, they stole money from the foster father. They escape from him, and then along the way, they find a young boy who becomes another foster brother. So they all live together in this house right next door to Tigor. And, again, they don't have any hate towards orcs. They're just trying to survive. They just want to be able to live. Because, again, they had horrible background themselves. They've been through abuse. So,
which can I say? I think that's most people in today's world.
What's that?
No, just because, they always try to paint like this group hates this group, that group hates that group. I think most of us are just like, let's just get along and move on.
I totally agree with that.
You have your own stuff to worry about. So
exactly. You just want to survive. You
thank
pay
you.
Your bills. You take care of your family.
Yep.
You're good. So Tigor, he meets her. I'm sorry, the meeting's hilarious, but I don't want to ruin that part for you because I laughed my butt off when he first physically met me. So anyway, they meet. She explains to him, but it's her foster brothers or anything. But what you find out is at this time, for the orcs, there's now an orc gang. And basically, you have some of the orcs who came back with the other orcs, and they've kind of taken on, how you have like, we have our gangs. Well, there's an orc gang now. And they want to take over. They want to actually get rid of other orcs so they can be the head honchos. And they see Tigor and say, go ahead, build it up because we're going to take it over. And we're going to take a little haughty human too with us. So they're like, oh, they're disgusting. They're baddies. And they have a couple of human little lackeys working with them because, of course, they want to get some money and stuff and have women too. So you have added danger going on. But I like the progression of where the orcs are at. And the thing I also love that Dani Wyatt does in this series is that she kind of gives you like a future glimpse of what happens with the couples. Again, these are both books are like smaller books. They're like around 100 some odd pages. You could probably read this in probably about a couple hours. I read in about an hour. So they're really well written, very good. They flow very well. I love the couples. The men are wonderful with the women. So I highly recommend Dani Wyatt's books for the Orc Next Door and Live and Let Orc. So
Live and Let Orc.
So run out and get it today. They're both out, and there's another one coming out at the end of this month, I believe. So I'm sure about one of the brothers.
I thought, okay, never mind. So Live and Let Orc by Dani Wyatt.
And the Orc Next Door.
And the Orc Next Door. So if you guys are into glowy ogre people, teach his own. Go out and get it. Go for it.
Very well written. I highly recommend it if you're into like monster romances.
I can do a monster romance.
Mm.
On a hotness scale, what would you give it?
Oh, definitely. I'll give it about 9.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So the sex is pretty good.
Oh, yeah. It's really good.
With their 2 penises and 2 tongues.
You can. Woo! Yes.
Yeah, you really probably couldn't go wrong with 2 tongues. 2 penises might get a little sketchy for now and then, but depends on how it's done, I guess.
Exactly.
So, but anyway, so Charlie, there you go. Charlie recommends Dani Wyatt and her orcs. So, we hope you guys enjoyed today.
Yes.
So, as always, keep sending us all your stuff
please, yes.
and your requests and those types of things because we are checking them out. We are going to be bringing you in the near future. We're excited. Our own Charlie, her writing persona is Jessie Jones. So she just released a book, and so we're gonna go into that too. It's pretty tasty, pretty hot. But that will be on a future show.
Yes.
But as of today, we're talking about Dani.
Yes.
So go out and get a copy, and we will see you guys in the near future. Oh, before I forget, like, subscribe, comment. You can find us on Facebook,
Yes.
Romance in the Woe, Charlie Jones. So please hook us up. Check us out. Big shout out again to Leah Ashers. So was it Leah Ashers? Leanne, excuse me. Yes, for just being awesome. So, and then who was the lady that we did the last time?
Layla Roberts.
Yes, Layla Roberts. Thank you. Big shout out to Layla Roberts too. She's amazing.
We love her.
Yeah, we do. So, but anyway, so again, we will talk to you guys soon. Until then, take care.
Bye.
Peace.